our kids can go to him and talk to and be like, did you have this problem when you were my age? When we go back down to Alabama this weekend, it's definitely something that I'm going to bring up.
Hi, my name is Jim Howley, and I am transgender.
As a teenager, I thought that I might be alone the rest of my life because I really isolated myself. I would eat lunch in the bathroom. I would avoid all social contact with my fellow students. I really liked to climb trees and be out in the natural world. This is always my favorite one to do, like pretend that I was gonna fall. Woohoo! My name was Jennifer. I grew up in a military family near Columbus, Ohio. My friends decided to walk away from me because I was different. I actually had somebody say to me when I was a teenager, there was a group of boys, and one of them said to the other, "How do you f*** something like that?" And I looked at him and I said, "You don't." The tree never asked me if I was a boy or a girl. You know, I just could hide in the safety of its branches, and I was very invisible, and I liked that.
Do you remember when he told us?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gay.
He says, I'm gay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The words just came out, "I'm gay." And then he left the room. And then we were, oh, was that what this problem is?
I said, "Are you guys mad at me? Why are you so quiet? Just say something to me. Tell me you love me or say something." And my dad said, "We'll get through this." My dad he's at 30 some odd years ex-military. He's very solution-based, and my mom just kept, I'm just numb, and, she would cry,
And so we adjusted our thoughts from tomboy to gay, and we moved on. And we were getting used to that, and then all of a sudden, my name's going to be Jim.
Yeah, he says, I'm transitioning.
Yep.
And Diane says something to the effect, I'm just getting used to gay.
I was 26 when I changed my name and began taking testosterone. And a few years later, I decided to have surgery. I started posting video blogs about my life. But I just kind of wanted to update everybody on what's going on. Boy, when I was 19, I'll tell you, I could have used somebody, because I was, what do the young kids say? A hot mess. God, I was a mess. And I had a mullet to top it all off. Me and my mullet and my suicidal tendencies. I discovered that there were other people out there like myself, other allies on the internet.
When I transitioned, I did it alone. I didn't have anybody.
The minute I tell them I'm trans, the entire conversation shifts. Their replies get shorter, they seem uninterested.
They just wanted like my whole family to just like hate me and be like totally ashamed of me. Yeah. It's gone really well.
It's important to have someone there as a support system to help.
It can be very hard to grow to our full potential because we are so focused in trying to be accepted into society.
People get really scared and isolated and really, won't even leave the house or have difficulties building relationships. I see this a lot in my job as a counselor and job coach, and I support them in finding work and getting through difficult times. Often people come in and they've been beaten down by life. I read a study recently that said more than a third of trans teens attempt suicide. It was shocking to hear, but I understand. I was one of them. Mark came to me and asked me to make a promise. And I said yes. There was a lot of older students that were introducing us to drugs and alcohol, and I think it was a combination of just feeling mistreated in our lives and in our town, and we just felt really down and depressed. We drove up to a bluff where we put a hose into the car and inhaled carbon monoxide. We sat in the car for, 3 or 4 hours. I was starting to kind of pass out and realized that I didn't want to do it anymore. I just started driving us home, and he was upset at first, like, "What are you doing?" I told him, that I had this new feeling of wanting to live, that I didn't want to lose him, and that I loved him.
They needed to sort of break this twinship that they had. And it was the hardest decision we ever made to, have to send them away. But at least you knew they were safe.
Then when I was 18, I came out as a woman, as Claire. As I was telling people I was gay, it didn't quite fit anymore. I feel like I really want to be the woman that I am.
And I really did reel from that. I don't know whether I just didn't believe it or I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how that process was going to take place.
It's a fairly radical procedure or concept. And change is difficult for a lot of people, for, my